A ballistic missile built in Iran and fired from Yemen hit Ben Gurion International Airport on Sunday morning, terrifying passengers, staff, and crew, and raising urgent new questions. Why haven't aggressive U.S. military strikes on the Houthi terrorists neutralized the threat? Why are the Houthis still able to fire missiles at Israel? Hi, this is Joel Rosenberg in Jerusalem with a YouTube exclusive for the Rosenberg Report. Israel's northern border in Lebanon is quiet. The ceasefire is holding. IDF ground forces are moving deeper and deeper into Gaza. But our eastern skies are becoming more and more dangerous. Why? Because of these attacks from Yemen. Now, on Sunday morning, as I mentioned, air raid sirens sounded across central Israel from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv, certainly getting our family awake, alert. We were up, but it's just shocking to hear sirens going off, and they've been going off day after day over the last several weeks. But on Sunday, the sirens started going off again after this ballistic missile was launched from Houthi-controlled territory in Yemen. Now, this is the 26th ballistic missile that has been launched at Israel by Houthi terrorists in Yemen over the past month or so. Now, almost all of the missiles have been intercepted so far, thank God. But this one, this ballistic missile, again, coming 1,800 kilometers from Yemen, actually penetrated through U.S. and Israeli air defense systems and hit the grounds of Ben Gurion International Airport. This is Israel's main civilian airport. This is the airport that I fly in and out of, and that almost every Israeli flies in and out of. We have another one down in the south, but this is our main airport. The Israelis have not gotten deeply involved in the ongoing attacks against the Houthis, but the attacks in recent days, the attacks over the last month or so, the 26 missiles that have been fired at us over the last month, and the fact that this missile got through and hit the grounds of the main Israeli airport, even though it didn't hit the actual building or a plane, this is likely to change the equation. Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor here at the Rosenberg Report YouTube channel, Wise Money Israel. Look, the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange operates almost exactly like NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. The difference is that they feature publicly traded companies based right here in Israel. These guys can help you figure out how to get involved in the Tel Aviv stock market and start investing in wonderful and dynamic Israeli publicly traded companies. Wise Money Israel, check them out today. And now back to our big story. As All Israel News and Israeli Channel 14 reported, both the U.S. Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System, the THAAD, and the Israeli Arrow anti-ballistic missile systems failed. This is big news here because it doesn't happen that often. Pieces of shrapnel were identified in several locations near the airport, including a piece which hit the awning over the entrance to the departure hall. Photos and videos show roads that were inbound into the airport covered in dirt and debris. In fact, all entrances and exits in and out of the airport were closed for several hours after the attack. Magen David Adom, which is the emergency services paramedic units here in Israel, reported several people with mild injuries following the incident, with at least 2 people taken to the hospital. Pinchas Adan, a chairman of the Israel Airport Authority's Workers Committee, told Yediot Aharonot, an Israeli news site, quote, "We all entered the protective areas. There was just a plane that had landed. We heard a loud explosion. It was close to where the planes parked there. There was a lot of luck here because there was a plane in the air at that time," unquote. A spokesman for the airport's authority told the media that, quote, "an investigation is being carried out regarding a fall in the area of Ben Gurion Airport. In the usual procedure, there was a freeze on the situation and there were no landings or takeoffs going on. Ben Gurion Airport is expected to resume operations in the near future," unquote. Yes, the airport got right back into business. Following the missile attack, a senior Houthi terrorist official, Mohammed al-Bahati, told the Qatari channel Al Arabi that, quote, "the escalation will continue as long as Israel does not stop its attacks in Gaza. There are no red lines in our confrontation with the Zionist entity, with the United States and with Britain," al-Bahati said. The attack on Ben Gurion Airport is evidence of our ability to strike fortified sites inside Israel, unquote. Now, again, this raises the big question. How did the United States miss this? Why was the United States not able to intercept it and bring this missile down? Why was Israel unable to intercept this missile successfully? And how could it hit on the grounds of the Ben Gurion Airport? Again, we need to be grateful to God that the missile didn't hit the actual airport itself. It didn't hit a missile. It didn't hit a plane. It didn't hit the passenger areas or the fuel depots or any of those key elements. But the fact that it got in is a failure of U.S. and Israeli missile defense systems. And I'm not saying that our systems have 100% effectiveness rate, but this is a problem. How does this change the dynamic? The U.S. has been hitting the Houthi terror organization and all their sites throughout Yemen for the last several months, and that's good. I'm grateful to President Trump and his administration because they're getting tough, really tough on the Houthis. The Houthis in Yemen by themselves, not a problem. The Houthis in Yemen, armed and abetted and aided and funded and fueled by the Iranian regime, that's a huge problem. Biden didn't get it. Biden's team didn't get it. Trump does get it. And one of the first things that President Trump did upon coming back into office was put the Houthis back on a terror list, and rightly so, and begin strengthening Israel and the Saudis and others in the region to defend ourselves against the Houthis. And it was also true that Trump realized that the Houthis aren't just a ballistic missile threat to the Saudis and to Israel, but they are attacking the shipping lanes in the Red Sea. How they have not fully destroyed the Houthi terror threat is an issue. I don't have yet a full, clear understanding of how much more needs to be done to destroy the Houthi infrastructure. But we should be grateful that the U.S. is doing this much and that Trump is very serious about it. So, Sunday's attack was a problem because it showed that the job is not yet done, the Houthis are not yet neutralized, and that some missiles are able to get through. We're vigilant against what's going on in Lebanon, though right now things are quiet as I record this, and we're contemplating massive military force against Iran, which of course is the mothership. It's the head of the octopus. It's where all these problems really come from. And that raises the complications of Trump seems so intent on now making a diplomatic deal with the Iranian regime. That would be good if the deal was one that Israelis could be confident would end not just the nuclear threat, but the ballistic missile threat and the terror threat overall. I haven't seen any evidence that the deal that Trump is working on, is going to satisfy Israelis. You could say it's early, okay, but Israelis are worried. We're nervous because we thought when Trump came in, he was not only going to take the gloves off and hit the Houthis, we thought he was going to take the gloves off and hit Iran as well. And now there are a lot of signals that Trump really doesn't want to hit Iran and may be preventing Israel from hitting Iran, which puts us here in Israel in a difficult position. It doesn't mean we're done with Trump. It doesn't mean we're not glad that Trump's there. But this is confusing. This is a challenge, and Israeli leaders are trying to figure it out. Well, please be praying for the United States, for the Trump administration, for President Trump in particular, for Prime Minister Netanyahu and all Israeli leaders to work together to neutralize the threats, not just from the Houthis in Yemen, but the threats from Iran soon and forever. And I want you to please take a look at Wise Money Israel to learn more about how you can develop your financial portfolio by investing in Israeli stocks. From Jerusalem, this is Joel Rosenberg with a YouTube exclusive for the Rosenberg Report.